Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Here locally in the community. Make sure y'all go check out Meet That Body by Jeremy Kimes.
All right, good evening. It is the Lions Fan Cave Chat. I got Will Bogle and Bistrilla de Thrilla with me. I invited a few more, but they all must have to be a little busy right now. That's okay. It is what it is. But we're here and we're going to talk all Detroit sports because the Lions news is a little barren this week. There's nothing to talk about. The vets were given the time off. There's some rookies working out with the strength and conditioning people because they want to make sure our rookies are in better shape because the vets do it all year. They know they can only take so much time out and they got to start working out. The rookies don't know that yet because it's a grind in the NFL. The 17 game, 18-week season plus playoffs if you're good. And we're going to be pretty good this year.
I would hope so.
Mm-hmm.
So what's going on?
Not much. So, with everything that's been going on, let's start at the top here. Let me get to my topics. NBA history was made with the 55th pick in the NBA draft. The head coach, not the assistant that was hired for $8 million a year in JJ Redick, LeBum James got his son on the team. Yeah, big yep. But it is history made because now a father and son duo play on the same team. We can poo-poo it all we want. We can make fun of it all we want, but it is a fact. It is now NBA history is made. Whether they play a minute in the game or not is another question.
Yeah, there have been some iconic father-son duos, but they haven't played to each other. Bill and Luke Walton. You got Clay and Michael Thompson. You got there's handful like Doug Christie's kids played in the NBA too. Max and I forgot what the other one's name is. Yeah, there's a bunch of legacies, but to be the first one, it's pretty cool. Even though I think he should start in the G League.
Oh, there was a lot of us that talked about that last night through the chat while I was on Fire Up with Candy and Ralph Williams. And yeah, that was the consensus. He should go to the G League to start, or NFL or NBA Europe or whatever. And it was funny because our GM, because they asked, "Oh, are you trading up to get Bronny in the second round?" He goes, "If we drafted Bronny, he'd be playing for our Australian affiliate." I died laughing at
That's a demotion. No, I'm kidding.
that.
Well, the whole situation with that is just disgusting for the NBA. Okay, so who owns the team? Is it
Rob
LeBron
Palenka.
or is it
It's Team
Lakers? I
Moscow.
don't.
It's LeBron.
I'm not getting this
I know.
It's
because
LeBron, yeah.
you might as well make him an owner because if you can just Bronny is not worth a second round pick. And people have been up there saying, "Oh, well, there's not that many people that were on there anyway that were that good." There was a guy that got undrafted with 12. I forgot what his name was, but he scored 12.8 points a game, and he was on a team that was near a championship caliber, and he got undrafted. But Bronny gets picked 55th
Yeah,
in
it
the second round.
disgusts me.
Come on, man. I
The
said
guy
first, and
only
then I'm ready.
averages.
Oh, why are
Go
you
ahead.
hating on Bronny? I said, I'm not hating on Bronny. You gotta his abilities are limited. He's not his dad.
Right.
Everybody wants him to be his dad so bad. He's not his dad. Don't put that pressure on that boy like that. No. First of all, me, in my opinion, being a father, if I was in those same shoes, I'd have him go to a different team. Because what's the best thing that you can do for your kid when he gets into a position of competition and you're already in that position of competition? Play him, play against him, see how good he is. He's
Right.
got to find his way in the NBA. He got his dad holding his hand the whole way. That's not going to give him no respect in the NBA when your dad has drafted. Dad just come over here.
I,
That's my opinion. I mean, I've seen people on there, and I understand the opposite opinion too. It's cool to have, be playing with your dad and blah blah blah. That's cool. But to me, that's not. I wouldn't treat my kid like that.
okay, well, now you can talk. You kept trying to interrupt. You were going. Now
Yeah.
let's go.
Yeah. Sorry about that, Pastrilla. Yeah,
You're
no,
good.
I agree 100%. Like, play against him. Like, the thing is, like, LeBron's not going to be in the league much longer. Like, I would say max 4 years. But, like, he's not going to be there with you for your NBA career. Like, for example, if you had, like, a 10-year career, LeBron's not going to play 10 more years. LeBron's got 3 to 4 years max more. So agree with Pastrilla because it just. Am I surprised he got picked by the Lakers? Heck no. I bet people in Vegas made money on that with a prop bet.
Yeah. Okay. My take on it is thank God they didn't go ahead and screw him up after the pressure of just practicing with USC last summer. The kid had a heart attack.
Yep.
So, and he was hospitalized for 3 days after it. And I understand he bounced back. It was nothing major. It was a combination between heat stroke and anxiety and blah, 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 whatever else it was. But at the same time, can you imagine the pressure that had been on that kid of being a first round pick for the Lakers? It might have killed him because if you're picked in the first round, you're not going to the G League but to practice. You're expected to play. I think he needs to go to the G League and be there a year or two before he ever steps foot on an NBA court. Because I'm sorry, 4 points as a role player on the back end of the bench for USC per game, that's not enough to be an NBA player.
I
Yeah,
And
agree.
and I'm going to say this. This is my disclaimer. I have to say every time I see this comment come in. The opinions of Jeremy Bulrick Jr. do not reflect that of me or the channel.
I agree.
Um, here's something crazy, and I'm going to throw this out there because everybody says how bad Monty Williams was a coach last year, and I'm going to use the player he mentioned that's in the NBA as an example. The previous season, Cade Cunningham had almost double the turnovers that Jason Tatum had, and Jason Tatum set a record the year before in the playoffs. He reduced his turnovers by a 2.2 per game margin this year. He increased his 3-point percentage from a paltry 23% to 27. That's a 4% increase. His points per game went up by 1.8. He averaged 25 points a game this year instead of less than 25 points. That is an average starting point per guard points per game. But it's the other stuff he does outside of scoring that makes the difference with Cade, and the fact he reduced his turnover ratio means that Monty did coach something into these guys. And then look at Beef Stew on top of that. Beef Stew increased his 3-point percentage, and you're talking about a guy that never shot a three in college. He never shot a three. He was 32% the year before. He was 38% last year. Our starters weren't the problem shooting the three ball. It was the bench players that wanted to play hero ball because we were losing. When every single one of your bench players have a 3-point percentage under 20%, it's an issue.
For
Well, I
real, I
mean,
agree.
with the Piston thing, it's just Dum Dum just needs to sell the team to somebody that's going to actually want. I'm telling you, ownership is everything, and he's not a very good owner. The fact that you paid a guy for a 6-year contract in the first place, and he didn't want to be here. He even said so much himself. Unless you pay me, and he got here and they paid him. That's BS. I would have never done that. Never, ever, ever. I don't know why they didn't go out and get Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers was available at the time. He would have. That's the kind of guy you need to buffer up youngsters. That's all we got. We got a team of youngsters right now. So we're going to lose. We are going to lose. And
I know.
I don't think we're going to lose. I don't think we're going to lose 13. I mean, win 13 games out of that, but whatever. But the point is that whole front office needs to be blown up. They just need to start over again, get better people in the office. I didn't like their GM hiring either. I don't think he's that good either. I don't know what coach they're going to get, but hopefully it's a good coach. Cross my fingers, knock on wood. But they got that Holland kid from the D League. Let's see what happens from him.
I hated that pick
You
because
did? They need defense.
I know they need defense, but at the same time, we need somebody that does both decent. And the best pick that would have fit this team, because we don't have a big man like him on it, because he's a great inside defender and he can shoot from outside, would have been the center from UConn.
Quinion, yep.
I think he'd have been a way better pick than Holland. When I heard that we picked him, I was like, "Who the hell is this guy?" I had to go research him to find out. I was like, "Oh, he's a great defender, but a 24% 3-point shooter." Guess what the average of the Pistons was last year as a 3-point shooter? 24%.
That just means everybody else is got to shoot. I mean, look at it. First of all, everybody on that team doesn't need to shoot. Okay, this goes back to when the Pistons had won a championship with Ben Wallace. Now I didn't see Ben Wallace up there cranking up threes, and when he shot a three, it was awe-inspiring because he shot one. But the point of the matter is, he wasn't on there to do threes. People got to fill roles on that team, and that's the problem with the Pistons right now. We don't have a leader between Cade and what's his face, the 2-point guards. Nobody knows who's going to take a lead. Nobody's saying, "Look, Cade, you're going to be the leader, or you're going to be the leader." No. And then we got Timmy Hardaway. We got Timmy Hardaway in a trade with Miami, wasn't it? Dallas. Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. I just got to see how this works out for the team. If they win more than 13 games next year, I'll be surprised. They probably will, because that's about the lowest you can get anyway. So, I mean,
it is the third lowest total of games ever won by a team. And that
in Orlando,
82 games has not been the schedule the entire time. Yeah, and Timmy Hardaway being back home, we can celebrate it all we want, but he disappeared for Dallas in the playoffs and was a big reason why they lost. So he doesn't have that killer instinct. But in the season, he was great for Dallas and was a big reason why they made it to the playoffs. So When the pressure's not on, he's okay. So maybe we'll be all right.
And Orlando reminds you how you treat no, dude. Caldwell was a proven winner. That was a difference. We treated Caldwell bad. I didn't treat him bad, but the organization treated him bad. I don't know for what reasons. Kind of same way we did with what's his face that played for the Pistons. I mean, coached the Pistons before Larry Brown got here. He was winning playoff after playoff. I mean, he was in the playoffs every year, but then he just couldn't get to the championship. And then voila, we fire him, get Larry Brown, and we're in a championship. Sometimes coaches just can't get you to that point. And that's what I thought about Caldwell. I think Caldwell wasn't that coach that was going to get us to the next level. He was winning all the time, but he just couldn't get us to that.
I personally hated the Caldwell hire to begin with.
Well, I mean,
he did get us to the playoffs. Don't get me wrong. Twice. Out of the 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, him, and then everybody thinks Terrell Austin is this great defensive coordinator. He was only a great defensive coordinator for 1 damn year. Because the GM and that coaching staff allowed that Lamborghini of a defense to become a Yugo overnight. You can't let both Nick Fairley and Ndamukong Suh walk in the same year. Caldwell, while he had a great regular season percentage, one of those 9-win seasons, if it wasn't for Stafford calling an audible every play and winning 8 games on a game-winning drive. If that doesn't happen, we go 1-16.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's due to the horrible second half play calling. His play calling in the second half is worse than Ben Johnson's.
It does that the whole thing of an organization during that time period. It was typical Lion stuff. So, I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, I'm glad that we don't have to meander to the past and we have good futures to look for with the coaches that we have. So I'm not worried about that too much with the Lions. I'm glad that, but anyway.
You know what Caldwell was? He was the safe hire. They were mad at Schwartz after we lost to San Francisco that year that we went 8-8 that last year he was here, and he didn't react well to being slapped on the back by Harbaugh. That is what went over bad because coaches are not supposed to overreact to situations like that. They're supposed to handle it by a phone call, not live on the air. Blah, 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 blah. Schwartz was the one that built that defense to what it was so that Caldwell could have that great year in 2014-15. And if it wasn't for Nate Burleson getting hurt, you realize we would have had Nate Burleson, Golden Tate, and Calvin Johnson on the field at the same time because that happened in that offseason. He was on the Lions roster. He just never played.
And then you got to remember, too.
How much better that receiving core be? Because remember when Nate Burleson got there, Calvin Johnson's numbers were good, but not as good as the year before because he had to share some targets.
I think the thing with Stafford, though, is that Calvin Johnson retired during that tenure, and Stafford did a very good job the next year. That's the year that he came from behind from 8 years. His quarterback rating went up, his percentage passing went up, everything went up for Stafford. Now he didn't eclipse the 5,000 yards he got about 4 or 5 years before that, but still at the same time he did better as an individual quarterback. He really didn't have any targets to throw to like Calvin Johnson, so he was able to adapt. And I think that's what made Stafford a better quarterback over time. And that's why when he went to L.A., he was able to do what he did and get them a Super Bowl. I think that had he had what he has here now, I think the same thing would have been applied to him too. But we couldn't have these things if we didn't trade them. So
right. You would not have a third of this team of the good people.
What's up, Yoli?
Yoli Cruz, good to see you here. Hatter's House. Yes, I agree. Caldwell was more mid than he was great. It was just the greatest coach we saw here. That's all we can
Mhm.
say. But at the same time, I didn't want Caldwell hired. To me, it was the safe hire. You know what I mean? Oh, he came from the Chuck Pagano Super Bowl led, Tony Dungy, Chuck Pagano promoted and became the coach. Then he gets hurt and he was the interim coach. They make the playoffs. They fail because Ebum couldn't catch a touchdown in the playoffs. But anyways, I still got to give a shout out to Detroit Dom. He literally made Eric Ebron leave social media with one
Are you
statement.
serious?
Yes. On Twitter, Eric Ebron posted a picture of his wife and their new baby, and he's holding the baby. He goes, "Well, I sure hope you hold on to that baby better than you do a
I
football."
remember that. That post went national.
Yeah, he left. He left social media the next day and never went back to Twitter.
Yeah, that post went national too.
Is that
That was
bum
hilarious.
still in the league?
No,
E-bum?
no.
He ended with the Steelers, didn't he, or the Colts?
He
He
went for the Steelers.
for the
Oh, he
Steelers.
played for the Colts, and then he went to the Steelers for about a year and a half, I think. And they got rid of him. They only got him because at the time they were in between tight ends. They had a rookie tight end, Frankenmuth, at the time.
Yeah, who's a
So
beast. I like him. I think he's going to be good.
Yeah, they
he
got
was he
Fryermuth
was he
and
was a red zone target, but the problem with Ebron is LeBron. Ebron can't catch a pass to save his life.
I mean,
So
the year he had
bad
13
hand.
touchdowns, what everybody forgets about, and they were all in the red zone. They were all under 10-yard passes. They
Mm-hmm.
threw to him 39 times to get 13 catches.
Mm-hmm.
He had a 66.6 touchdown drop rate that year. Just
Oh, my
touchdown,
Mm-hmm.
God.
not pass drop rate. His pass drop rate was closer to 70%
Yeah,
That's awful.
that dude couldn't catch a cold.
with a net.
I got it. No, you didn't. You just missed. Dang it.
I love it because Detroit Dom, and that was his Twitter handle. Then he literally said, "I hope you hold that baby better than you do a football."
And
It,
it went national. That
it
was
was
that was what was really hairy.
it
And
was shown
it
on
was it was
NFL
posted
Network,
on the NFL Network. They had posted on the NFL Network. They
ESPN.
had posted on CBS Sportsline. What else did they put it on? ESPN too. I think they put it on the
And Fox
ESPN
Sports
chat too.
and
It
the
was
Fox
all
Sports.
over the
Yeah,
place.
it went on all four of the major networks because at that time
Yeah.
those were the major sports networks. You know what I'm talking about? Because
Mm-hmm.
it really didn't get
Yep.
all these other networks out here until after that. Valley Sports was created when Fox Sports was struggling to get numbers for baseball.
Yep.
Valley Sports, and the reason why Valley isn't able to get a contract is they're going bankrupt. People, they may have to do a name change. That's the real truth that's going on. The headquarters are in Florida, and they are literally belly up. They can't afford to pay the FCC for the licensing,
Mm,
and they needed the contract to be done a year ahead of time so they could afford it. And everybody's like, "Nah, that's okay," because MLB
yeah,
will
I
be
don't
like,
like the name anyway. Bally? No.
"Well, because it's too closely related with the casino."
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That
That's
that
true.
was the biggest thing with that is when Bally Sports bought it, because Bally Sports is Bally Sports betting. It made baseball to be going hand in hand right there. You notice that there isn't an MGM channel for the NFL, right?
Mhm.
There's not a FanDuel or a DraftKings channel. It's the NFL Network for a reason because they want their own entity, the Shield, protect the Shield.
Speaking of which,
Oh, go ahead.
so the so I guess they got Goodell in the NFL for like
Yeah,
between. I see every time it varies 4.1 to 4.7 to 4.8 billion. Nobody knows what that is. Nobody's solid. I don't know what the hell. At different sports things are saying different things, but because of the ticket, NFL ticket, they got sued and they got 4 point whatever billion from them. I was saying earlier, it might be, you might think it's chump change to the NFL 4 point whatever billion, but it also sends a message to them and said, you can't keep screwing your fans like that.
Right.
The reason why they were doing that is because they wanted to put more emphasis on the local stations, Fox, CBS, that ones that were promoting football. So what they did was they overcharged you, because basically what the Sunday ticket is if you are an out of state fan, like if you live in Ohio and you like Detroit, that's basically what the ticket's for. But if you're in Detroit already, you basically, what people want is they want their own individual. Why I got to watch all these games? I just want to watch my game. I don't want to watch Pittsburgh in Arizona or something like that. So
Yeah.
and they made you they charge you for that, and that's not right. They need to be nice to their fans and give them less and give them a choice.
If you remember,
Period.
Sunday Ticket came out when cable first started to get a little bit of high definition, and it was prior to even flat panel TVs. It was around 98, 99, I think it first came out, and it was a cable package. And it was additional $50 for the season. It was nothing. Everybody was
Mm-hmm.
happy to pay that. $50 and I get to watch all the games. I'm gold. I'm in. There was a lot of people that was really happy for that. Then all of a sudden, the NFL got this idea. Hey, what if we do exclusive rights to one of the cable networks, give it to them for X amount of years, and then give it to another one? And at first, it was a 3-year deal. It went to Comcast, it went to Charter, now Xfinity, Spectrum, whatever the hell it's called. It went to them, then it went to Dish, then it went to the other satellite network, and it rotated back. And nobody was complaining then. But around 2006, Dish Network got it, and they decided to up their price. All of a sudden, because Dish was always twice as much as cable. Cable was 50, so they were 100. And we understood that because it takes more to run the Dish stuff. There's more equipment needed at your house. So all of a sudden, they decided it was $250 for the season.
Terrible.
And then the other satellite night that gets hurt, and they said, "Well, we're going to one up that. We're going to go 300."
Yeah,
And now
everything past that
came in, and the one that pushed it over the envelope was YouTube. When YouTube Live bought it, they made you have to buy YouTube Live to be able to get Sunday Ticket. Whereas Dish, they said, "Hey, you can have our basic service. We don't give a shit if you want the Sunday Ticket. You can buy it." And that's where it made it bad, because then you had to accept their minimum of a 65 per month fee and then pay for the Sunday Ticket on top of that. And there was no cancellation. There was penalty for cancellation. If you wanted to cancel because you found a better deal, you had to pay them.
That's stupid.
So this
And
is
what
what
is it now? Like what is it now? Like $400, $400,
yeah,
$500
it's
for that?
$395 for the season, and it's a $250 cancellation fee if it's prior to the 9th week of the season.
And it's still NFL's fault though, because you made that deal with YouTube.
Right.
And, you agreed to do that kind of stuff, so you're putting it on your fans that way. That's not cool,
Right.
and for you to agree with that. So I'm glad they got nailed for it.
Right.
And they say they're going to appeal it. I hope the appeal gets shot down too.
Well, it's a
F.
4.7
Goodell.
billion that they had to pay. And even if they appeal it, it has to be approved for the appeal. They have to have a leg to stand on. The jury decided that what was offered was fair. But at the same time, because this is kind of almost like a RICO Act like thing, if the laws want to enact it, they can increase that to $14.1 million because it can triple.
Wow.
Because it falls under the Racketeering and Mafia Rule Act.
Crazy.
So I keep saying Goodell is the
But at the
devil.
same time, this right
That's not my
here,
sport.
right here is what's going to keep that Netflix money from affecting the salary cap as much as everybody thinks. And I said it because it was the same week that Netflix deal for Christmas came out that this whole case came up. It was the exact week. I said, this case might be huge because they're suing for $21.6 billion. That's exactly what Netflix paid for one day of being able to show Christmas games.
And on top of that, they're not the only network. Remember, Amazon still got their Thursday night games. So they
Right.
got all kinds of networks out there. You know, if you're a person that's a big time football fan, you're gonna be pulled because you got to pay for Amazon, Netflix, YouTube, all
Unless
that
you're
stuff just to watch football.
find a
And
league.
I just watch Fox and CBS.
Good. Yeah, I like Red Zone,
Red
but I
Zone's
want
pretty
to have
good.
the choice just to play, just to watch Red Zone because I used to watch Red Zone a lot, so I had fantasy football, so I like to watch all the plays. It's not so prevalent because I'm not in that many leagues anymore. I think I'm only in one, so I don't watch it as much as I used to. But yeah, Peacock, that's the other one. Yep, Peacock is the other channel.
And that's why I like the service that I use, and I don't want to name it on the air because I don't want it getting shut down because it's an overseas service, so it's not subject to all the FCC and NFL bullcrap. But I pay $99 a year. I get every professional sport, and I get every major sports channel, including Red Zone 1 and 2. So
Oh,
therefore,
you gotta give me,
I
you
got to
gotta
give
give me
you
that.
the stuff
You
later,
give,
right?
give me that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeremy gave it to me, and it's a
Because that's all I
lifetime.
want to watch sports. I don't want to watch no other stuff.
And now, what's stupid is you can watch every sport under the planet if you want. It's got a professional dart channel. It's got a UFA channel. It's got the FIFA channel. It's got all that crap, including a cricket channel. Which, here's what's funny. They were interviewing the players on how to play the game. A British guy, where it was developed and turned into what it is. And USA beat the UK cricket team like 40 something to 6. And he started asking him about the technical names. He goes, "Oh, we don't know all that. We just know how to be athletes."
It's all like that. It's all
And
that
that's
counts.
all that matters. That's all that
I,
matters. If you're athletic and you can
Well,
play, you can do any sport.
you know what's funny is I was talking to a British guy online, and they called the batter batsman. So he watched baseball one time with overseas, and he's like, "Oh, look, it's the batsman!" And if all his American friends are done laughing, he's like, "What's so funny?" He's like, "Dude, it's called the batter." "Oh, that guy's the bowler." "No, dude, that's the pitcher."
Right. Yeah, yeah. When he's talking about that, he goes, "So you call the guy that throws the ball the bowler?"
mm-hmm.
I watched it. It
Oh,
was
it's funny.
it was a funny interview. You know what I mean? They were just going back and forth, and the guy's like, "You know what? I don't care. I can play the game and I can beat you. That's all that matters to me because we're competitive.
Exactly.
We're Americans. That's what makes us great."
Right. Exactly.
John Dorn's exactly right. Peacock too. Thanks for coming in, John Dorn. But
John
Mina
Dorn.
Kimes and Pat McAfee. Mina Kimes visited Woodward Sports. Pat McAfee did this on his own show about 2 weeks ago. There was a Packers beat writer, a Bears beat writer, a Vikings beat writer, all on the Pat McAfee show that year, and they were saying, "Oh, the Lions fans are coming out of the woodwork because they won an NFC North championship." Blah 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 blah. And Pat McAfee goes, "Well, you know, in order for them to win it, one of you guys had to lose it, if not all of you." You know, and I thought that was kind of funny. He went to the sarcastic side like he usually does, and he goes, "But at the same time, once you wear the crown, you become the hunted. The problem is they lost to a few teams that they didn't want to lose to, and they're hunting them too." And he looks at the Packers and Bears. He goes, "You two are definitely one of them." He goes, "Vikings, you're not even on their radar because you lost both."
That's great.
And
I
Mina
love it.
Kimes came on to Woodward Sports with the heavyweight, and she basically reiterated the exact same thing, but in a much politer manner because that's how she is. She's that demeanor. Um, Basically said the Lions are good. They have to be better to go further this year, and I believe they can because they are.
I like Mina.
So
She's smart.
I'm going to start with B this time. What do you think about those two statements that were made about the Lions?
I mean, they're facts. Both of them. I mean, the Lions got. I mean, I know I was listening to one of the Woodward streams, and the guy was like, "I'm getting sick of people talking about the Lions. Everybody else, and everybody else got better. Well, the Lions got better too. What's the point? I said, yeah, Green Bay got better. Chicago got better. Minnesota, well, we got to learn to find that they got better, but Detroit got better too. So I mean, everybody's treating us like chopped liver, which he said, hey, let them do that. Let them sneak up on the radar. Let them think. There's a lot of incumbents that don't even got them on the top 10. There's like people that don't even have the Lions on the preseason top 10 as far as being up there. San Francisco is though, and I keep trying to tell people is we're better than San Francisco. We messed up that game. Yes, San Francisco still won the game because they took advantage of us, but we were still driving up and down the field even in the second half.
Right. It just didn't happen till the fourth quarter.
We just didn't have a run game going for us. The defense fell out. I mean, there's certain things that just happened that it just wasn't meant up for us to win that game, but it was ours to win or lose, and we lost it. So
I had a guy arguing with me. He goes, you guys ran the ball in the third quarter. I said, when? After Jahmyr Gibbs fumbled on the first play, we never ran the ball to the fourth quarter.
we
ran
had
the ball
13 yards rushing in the second half.
Right. And it was all in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Because Jahmyr Gibbs lost the ball at the line of scrimmage. There was no yards gain. It was a turnover.
And it's very uncharacteristic things that the Lions did in that half. I can't even blame that on a Ben Johnson third quarter. It spread to the defense too. The defense sucked. The only person on the field that was straight up was Goff. Goff was throwing dimes out there, and just because people can't catch don't mean he wasn't playing his butt off. So
we had an uncharacteristic third down drop by Amon-Ra St. Brown on that first drive when we were going for a third down. And then we go for the fourth down. It hits Josh Reynolds in the hands, who was Mr. Clutch 90% of the season. And all of a sudden, he channeled his inner Eric Ebron. He didn't even make a catch till the game was out of control.
Yeah, I just think the whole situation got out of control. I think that the thing that I was disappointed in Dan Campbell was the last fourth down that they went for. He shouldn't have went for it. He should have kicked the field goal. You're only losing by 3 points. Let's get the game back in hand where we're tied up. Let's start over again. Let's get everybody aligned. And if he would have kicked that field goal, I think the Lions would have won that game. Only because he would have restored order as far as the score is concerned, and he wouldn't have showed helplessness. I think he was just being so damn desperate at that time. And that's one time when, Dan Campbell puts a lot of his emotions into the game. And that was a time his emotions failed him on that one. He should have just kicked the field goal and said, look, let's go. Let's start fresh. Let's get these last 5-6 minutes out of the way. If we got to go into overtime, we go into overtime. But we gotta recapture the momentum of the game. So, but he didn't do it. So,
but at the same time, the right play was called. The play was executed. The guy didn't have anybody on him, and it hit him right in the money makers, and he didn't catch the ball.
Well, let's talk about the second fourth down. The second fourth down,
he was wide open.
Well, the second fourth down, Goff was pressured, and he just threw a bad pass because he was pressured. But that was the same. The play before that was the one Josh Allen dropped, the third down pass that got him the fourth down. Josh Allen could have caught that pass. They wouldn't have had to go for fourth down.
It was Reynolds, not Allen.
Yeah, Reynolds again. It was Reynolds again. But then they could have still taken a field goal. I mean, that's what I said. Dan wasn't in his right mind at that point. He saw the game slipping away. He was trying to be too desperate about it. You're only 3 points down, bro. Just kick a field goal, tie the game, start over again, get everybody calmed down. Let's go win this boy. That's Dan Campbell right there. If he was in his wits, but it didn't happen. So it is what it is.
Mina and Pat hit the nail on the head. If you have to beat the best to be the best, and it's plain and simple. Detroit's taken over that division, and also I agree with the whole NFC Championship thing. The whole thing that made me crazy, I know it makes you guys crazy too, is after Josh Reynolds made that drop, he's smiling up the field, acting like nothing went wrong, and then they ask him in the post conference. He's like, "Can you explain those drops?" Oh, it happens.
No, he didn't
It
say it.
happens.
He literally told the media, "Shit happens," laughs, and walks off the stage.
Unprofessional. So unprofessional. Give an explanation. Say, "I just didn't come up clutch. I should have learned." Tell them
Probably
if
that's why he's not here though.
terrible.
It's exactly why he's not here. The way he acted with the media, 100%, and after each drop, the way he acted, that showed no grit. That showed, I don't care. I'm here. I'm happy. Remember, Dan Campbell addressed that in the Hard Knocks episode. If you're somebody that's just happy to be here, you won't be here. And he proved it.
Mm-hmm.
Where is he? Denver?
Yeah, he went to Denver, where wide receivers go to die because their quarterbacks are coached like shit.
Yeah, exactly. I wish we sent him to Canada.
Yeah, that's probably his
Well,
next stop.
I mean, Josh Reynolds is not a bad receiver, and he's probably not going to be a number 2 on there. I think they got who else? They got they still
Marvin
got Sutton.
Mims,
They still
Marvin,
a
got
guy from
Sutton. They still
Oregon.
got they still got their first 2. They got their number 1 and number 2 still. So it's not going to be like he's going to be coming into. He's going to be a number 3. He's just going to be a slot
yeah,
because they actually play their positions as receivers there because they don't have the versatility that the Lions have.
Marvin Mims.
Oh yeah, Marvin Mims, Troy Franklin. I can't remember who else I have.
But last but not least, we are on to the Tigers. I mean, you guys pretty much have said everything I thought. The only thing I disagree with is I still agree with the fourth down call because it still hit the wide receiver in his mitts, no matter how bad the ball is thrown. If it hits your hands, your job is to catch it. That's what you're paid to do.
I
Exactly.
don't think it didn't hit him in his hands. He didn't even complete the pass.
Well,
It
both
was
passes hit
the
him in
first.
the hand.
You're thinking of the third down play before that fourth down play. That was what the problem was. If Josh Reynolds would have caught that, they wouldn't have had to go for the fourth down.
And the first time
But
it was
when
Amon
he
Ra
got
dropping the third down.
he got flashed. This is the second fourth down. The second one, when he got flushed out the pocket, that's when he threw an errant pass because he got flushed out the pocket. I mean, you can't do every damn thing. So,
But at the same time,
just
Josh Reynolds is falling to the ground with a guy on his
yeah,
back, and he got his hands on the ball before it hit
that
the
was the first down though.
No,
That was the
in
first
the
one.
second one, he was standing wide open on fourth down. I swear to God, it was wide open. It was a slant route. He turned and he stopped because the ball was coming. It hit him directly in the hands, went through his hands, hit his chest, and fell to the ground. It was a
Yeah, I
perfect
think
pass.
that was a third down though. That wasn't the fourth down.
Because I had to turn my TV off because I said, well, we lost.
Right.
I
The
remember
results
that. Yep.
doesn't make a difference. We can sit here and argue logistics all we want. We still lost the game, so it doesn't make a
Yeah,
difference.
the main thing is that we had a tendency to do that. Our lowest rushing total of every quarter, if every game last year was the third quarter, we had a tendency all year long to go away from the run in the third quarter. Our least amount of first downs made, the third quarter. Our least amount of points scored, the third quarter. Our most points given up on defense, the third quarter. Every single one of our games were won or lost in the third quarter.
Yep.
Because the fourth quarter, if it was close, we could win. We proved it. We did it many times. The one game we never should have won it in the fourth quarter, and we did. And that was versus Chicago at home.
Mm-hmm.
We never should have been in that game, but Chicago decided to play Detroit ball and not run at all and just go pass. Which makes
Well, I think the thing about that too, and this is the thing that eats me about Chicago getting rid of Justin Fields, that dude was getting better and better every game. He's getting better and better every season. You chose not to build around him. That's not his fault. He can only do what he can, and he needed a better quarterback coach. The quarterback coach that he had sucked. So, because
And his
he was
coach was Eberluz.
he looked I saw a couple of plays, and I know this is a little bit off topic, but there was a couple of plays where Justin Fields, I was watching him, and he would not make a really good decision. There was a guy wide open and he was trying to run. Obviously the offensive line's not good. But moving out of the pocket and trying to find somebody, that's part of your job as a quarterback. You can't just sit there and run every time the pocket breaks down. You got to be able to find receivers. And that's what there was a guy wide open, and there was a game against the Lions last year, the year before, when we won with a pick six
Wasn't it Hutchinson?
by his team buddy, OSU buddy. So, but no, he had a chance to win that game, but the guy that he didn't see the guy wide open. I mean, he was in front of him too. I mean,
Yeah.
looking right at him, and he didn't throw the pass to him. He just threw over. Those are the kind of decisions that a quarterback coach would see on tape and say, "Look, you got to see these people because they're open." That's what you do coaching wise. But
Well, his first 2
he's
years,
on Pittsburgh now.
he was a one read and run quarterback, and it mostly was
Mhm.
the tight end. That's why Cole Kmet has been projected
Yeah.
up to a top 10 tight end. He's not one. You watch with a legit quarterback that can read a defense, he won't have as many catches or yards. I'm just saying, if Caleb Williams is 50% of what they say he's going to be, Cole Kmet's production is going to drop by 250 yards.
Yep. I
And that's
agree.
if he's 50% as good as what they say he's going to be.
Yep.
But
Well,
Bears
if
fans
just-
say that if Caleb is 50% of what they project him to be, we're going to win 10 plus games this year. I was like, oh my God, you guys bumped your damn head.
That's every
Lucky
day.
they win 8.
I sit there, I said,
They might win 9. I don't know,
yeah,
but they're not going to be. They're not going to win a division.
no. But I did say they could win 7 to 10 games automatically. They won 7 last year without a QB.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no. Justin Fields was. He
I'm
was
not-
the reason why he was in
Messy.
both them Detroit games. I'm gonna tell you,
At the same
Justin
time,
Fields is a lion killer.
he only won 5 games last year. 2 of them was won by Tyson Badgett.
Secret
Yeah, but
agent.
both the games that we played him, though, he could have
Right.
beat us. So I'm
And-
just saying, he's a lion killer, and that's the thing that if I was the top brass for Chicago, I would have like Lions won a division, but they barely beat us one game, and we beat them soundly the other game. So I think I might want to keep my quarterback because he was instrumental in both games and winning it.
I'll say
So-
this. Lions only gave up 100 yards on the ground to 3 teams, and 2 of them was Chicago, and mostly because of
Exactly.
Fields.
My point.
And Caleb is not as athletic as Justin Fields.
I don't think he's as good as quarterback as Justin Fields at this point.
I don't
I'm
know
just
yet.
saying.
I can't say that because he did have over the past 2 seasons, 60 touchdowns and 10 interceptions.
College at USC,
I know. In a division where they don't play defense,
Division I school, you better be putting up numbers like that.
Yep.
And you still weren't a very good team. What was USC's record last year?
Barely
12
over
or something?
500, I think.
Yeah, they were like 500, weren't they? It was a year before that he did well with them.
Yeah,
But
there was
this year they were like 500. He was hurt, wasn't he? Some of those games.
I know he played
Wasn't
all
he
of
hurt?
them this year. He played all of them this year.
Oh, he played all of them. So they were 500 with him playing all time,
Yep.
and that's USC.
Barely beat Colorado. Lost to Notre Dame for the first time in forever. Remember that?
I'm not saying that Caleb is a bum because I haven't seen him play NFL football yet, and I'm not going to say that either, even if he plays a year and he doesn't do well. But the point of the matter is he's not Superman. He's not going to do C.J. Stroud this year. He's not going to be that guy. He's just not. He's not. C.J. Those kind of quarterbacks come once in a long time to do that. So
I got one more topic to go over. Since we've all talked about the NFC Championship game and what a flounder it was, that just became an icing on the cake after the Mina Kimes and Pat McAfee part. Tiger reports are the Baltimore and the Dodgers have the leading offers for Tigers pitcher Skrubal. And the fact that, everybody says, oh, we still got a chance. We don't have a chance without some consistent bats. 100%. I don't care how good Skrubal is, but unless you got bats there to help him protect protect the lead he's earning, you're not, we're not
The
going to get.
Lions got to stop doing that. I mean, the Lions. The Tigers got to stop doing that, though. They got to stop doing that. Stop giving away people for draft picks. That's not helping us.
We're
We
not.
keep go every time we do that, we just go back down a tier.
We're not.
Go down a tier.
We're not allowed to trade draft picks in baseball anymore.
All right, whatever. We're not going to get nobody that can hit for
We're
him.
getting, what the main offer that they're talking about accepting is from Baltimore. We're getting one of their more consistent bats. We're getting a back end of the rotation starting pitcher and two of their top 25 prospects.
I would take that.
I wouldn't.
Go
We
younger.
need to keep good players on this team. We got to start somewhere. Every time we have a Tiger have a breakout year or a breakout season, he's consistent, we trade him. And
I
where does
think
it get us? Nowhere. At the bottom of the division, as usual. We got to start keeping players and start being able to see the problem. The reason why Tigers do that because they can't farm. They can't farm nobody. They suck.
the main
Our
reason
farm is actually loaded right now.
the Dodgers are in on Skrubal is because Kershaw just got hurt and he hit the IL.
Yeah, he's out. He's on the 60-day IL, right?
Yeah, and then Baltimore's a good young team that has Corbin Burns. They have so they won't add to their rotation and their young team and fight for a ALCS berth or even a World Series berth.
And we are talking about one of the teams that have some of the most wins in Major League Baseball right now. You know, Dodgers in the end, who are trying to make a push for a World Series again. They got Shohei Ohtani, who can't pitch this year because he just had Tommy John surgery and he's raking the ball. You put a pitcher like him in there to replace Kershaw, and I think Skrubal's pitching better than Kershaw was.
Yes, for
Screw
sure.
the Dodgers. Screw all that. We keep a player. Look, if Houston goes on their merry way and they don't do very well, trade us Verlander. Give us Verlander. I'll give you draft picks for Verlander. I don't care. He's in his twilight years. He's a veteran pitcher. Go over there and help Skrubal out with some better pitchers too. Pitches to throw to, and show him what it's about, and get the rest of the damn starting rotation up to bat. There you go. You do that. You might not be good. You might not finish this year in a playoff contention, but next year, I guarantee you, all that veteran leadership and that stuff that Verlander showed might put us up there. And we need bats. You're right. We do need bats, but that's what free agency for. Stop making stupid mistakes like with Baez. Get rid of his punk behind. I know his contract.
Could have got rid of Baez
Thing.
this year. And Scott Harris chose to keep him. It was a team option this year. It's player option every year after this. It was the stupidest contract I ever seen. First year, you pay him all this money. Next year is a team option. He sucked last year. What did they think he was going to do this year? You let him go. It would have
Yeah,
saved
he's worse this year.
$26 million. You could have had Gio and Matt Chapman and had two of the best third basemen in the league. One great at offense, the other one great at defense.
Isn't Baez on a DL right now?
No, they're platooning him. They got him as a role player now. He comes in once every 6 games, batting 183 with a
Let's go get Miggy back.
Yeah.
Bring back Mickey.
I'd rather have Miguel Cabrera playing than Baez right now.
I mean, Miguel Cabrera was still in a bad year, batted 270 and had 28 bombs. But I personally would seriously consider the Baltimore trade the most.
Yeah,
because it is
sure.
a
I agree.
starting bat that is somebody who's playing at the MLB level, a MLB quality pitcher at least. You know, it's not like you're just dragging 2 prospects out of their farm. And they do have one of the best farms in the league.
Yeah, they do.
20 of the top 100 baseball top 100 prospects are in the Baltimore farm.
They may have a good farm. That doesn't translate to the Tigers having a good farm because they come over here, they're going to suck because the farm system over here blows. So it's like I was looking at the Yankees roster, right? Their farm is 16th in the league, but they still managed to be they're doing a good job this year, aren't they? And a
Yes,
lot of
they are.
their players aren't rookies. And a lot of their players aren't people they drafted. A lot of people are people they signed. So start doing something different, Tigers. I just these damn Detroit teams are getting on my nerves,
I
man.
know.
If it wasn't for the Lions, man, it'd be. Woo.
Some good news happened at the start of tight end use of university, though. At the very beginning of it, George Kittle walks up to Travis Kelsey. They basically run it. They don't even participate anymore because they're there to teach the younger guys that come in how to be better tight ends, right?
Right.
Kittle says, "Who was the best tight end in the league last year?" He goes, "He didn't even hesitate. He goes, Sam Laporta. Did you see what that kid did? And he was a rookie. Watching him was electric. That's That says it all in a nutshell, right there."
Mm-hmm.
Super high praise, and you also set NFL records, Laporta. So I'm not surprised those two are impressed by how
Wait,
you're playing.
let's put a bubble on that. It's NFL rookie records, not NFL records overall. There's a
Oh,
big difference.
record.
They were
Sorry,
Mm-hmm.
rookie,
my bad.
but he
Rookie
broke
record.
2 of Mike Ditka's records. That's pretty fucking great because those have been standing since the 60s?
Hmm.
Wasn't he a rookie in 68?
Sounds right.
Yeah,
So,
some one of those years.
okay.
I wasn't born.
That being said, let's give a shout out to the sponsors. We're going to stay live past the hour, but I know that we go off the air with Huddle Sports, and I got to get that off on time. So let's do this right. It's our favorite. Even Bears and Vikings fans agree. It's FTP, which is fornicate the Packers. Because fornicate is a word we can say on Roku.
Fudge the Packers.
Yep, Fudge the Packers Mackinac style, as Orlando Escobar Jr. would say. And of course, there is my place of business that I work for, Brandon Service, right at the corner of South Grand Traverse and West Atherton Road, 602 West Atherton Road in Flint, Michigan, where the tires are good, but the water's shit. Used
Love it.
tires starting at $40 a piece. And if you need new tires, please call to get your quote, 810-233-8230. Talk to George, Red, or myself. I still say Matt Henry. Every time you hear that, I flash back to Bear Camp, and that means I got to run out there at the ATV to pick up a carcass. No, but you know what? Matt Henry is one of the guys that's been a little bit realistic in the chat when we talk about the Bears. Weapon wise, we know they got great weapons around Caleb, and that's going to help him his rookie year 100%. Is it going to mean the team will be better overall? You don't know. It's still a rookie quarterback. There's still a rookie wide receiver that has yet to play it down. And I don't know if you guys all saw when I did every single one of my top 11s and everything like that, I did not include in the individual rankings any rookies in my top 11 in the NFC because they haven't played it down. I will
Right.
not put a single rookie in a top 11 list
You can.
anywhere because everybody did that with Trevor Lawrence's rookie year, and look how bad that was.
They do all that stuff all the time. You're killing me. I say you can't base anything off of something they didn't do,
Right.
haven't done. It's
And
dumb.
Trevor Lawrence got paid because of his national championship in college still, not because he did anything in the NFL.
Right. Just ridiculous stuff.
But
Oh,
because
by the
of that,
way, the Red Wings drafted winger Michael Branseg Nygaard with the 15th overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, and he is the first Norwegian player to ever be selected in the first round.
oh, great. 100%. Yay.
So we'll see what happens with this guy.
Yep. Is the Iser plan working? We haven't seen a playoff yet, and it's been year 3, right?
Well, I don't know if they're going to be able to sign
The big guy we traded for.
Oh, the guy that we signed in free agency last year. What dude?
Kane.
Yeah, Patrick Kane. I don't
Yeah.
know if we're going to re-sign him or not. Nobody's gotten anywhere with that whole situation yet. Nobody's leaking out any information, so we don't know what's going on with that. But they already traded a couple of people away, or a person away for some draft picks. One of our defensemen. So I don't know what's going to be in store for the Red Wings this year, but I hope they actually get in the playoffs. That'd be nice.
Yeah. What's weird is all they had to do was win 5 games in March, and they were in the playoffs. We won 3. The Pistons, as bad as they were, won more games in the month of March than the goddamn Red Wings. It broke my heart.
But yeah, but the Lions won more games total than the Pistons did.
I know they did. With what? 1/5 of the season? Yeah, it was great. We won 20 games.
82 total games to 16. That's or 17. That's that's not cool, man. So I was telling one of my Laker guys, he's talking about he was having a real bad thing about having Bronny on a team. He said, I don't know what this organization is doing. I have to agree with them too because they're making some very bad decisions. They got rid of Ham. That
Right.
took them to
took them to the playoffs 2 years in a row.
Yeah, in a conference championship. And here LeBron says, I don't. He was big into getting them, and then he said, "Well, we don't want him no more. We'll get JJ Redick because I'm actually the coach of the team. So obviously he's actually the owner too if he's making them kind of decisions to get his son on there. Which, like I said, it's fine, whatever. But at the end of the day, is it making your team better?
Right.
That's all I want to know.
That is the $1 million question right there, my friend. Is it going to make their team better? Yes, we are running late tonight. You know why? Because we can.
That's right.
Because as soon as the other guy starts at 10 p.m. on the Roku channel, we're off the Roku channel. So I'm staying live.
There you go.
Now we can be ourselves again. We don't have to be
sir.
so pretty and prissy. I can't say I'm ever pretty, though.
Right.
But at the same time, God, it's so great to hear the things that are being said nationally about Detroit for a change instead of hearing the stuff we heard every year. I mean, there's only one person I know that says same old Lions every day, and that's John Dorn.
Well, we won't go there with that one. But anyway.
I'm just saying, that's the only time I hear it every day is when I hear him say it, or I see it on his banner and his backdrop on the Packers show. Hey, welcome back.
Same old Bears.
You feel a little lighter. You look a little lighter. You don't look as flushed. You look like you were
Yeah.
the
Let's
last.
just say, yeah. Long story. I'll tell you post show.
A porcelain love story.
Oh my God. So there is a little bit of it's Lions news because he used to be a Lion. Somebody's wife went on a podcast and did an interview and told a horrible story about when they were dating. Because Kelly and Matt Stafford, when they originally started dating and she was captain of the cheerleader squad while he was the starting quarterback, he actually did not want to commit to a one-on-one relationship. So Kelly went ratchet and started banging the backup quarterback, Joe Cox.
What's his name?
What a name.
I said, so Cox was laying the pipe. So after 3 days of her dating the other guy, in which she never stayed at her room, she went back to her room that Monday to pick up her bags. And when she came out, Matt Stafford was sitting on the passenger seat of the car. That guy's not right for you. Because Matt Stafford was the goody-goody type of guy. but he just didn't want to be chained down in college. He wanted to be able to do what he wanted to
He
do, and I
wanted to
don't
focus
blame
what he wanted. He wanted to focus on his football career. That's what he wanted to do.
him. Right.
She didn't see that.
But
She
Whatever
was
happened to
oh
that
for
dude?
sure.
The
wait, let me
backup
finish here. So
start.
he's now an assistant coach in college football right now. And now his family's coming under scrutiny because she made this public knowledge. So, but at the same time, Matt Stafford sits in the passenger seat waiting for her to come back out of her room and says, "That guy's not right for you." And she said, "Why do you care? You want an open relationship." And it changed that moment. That was when they became an item. And I'm like, wait a minute. I said, we might have found the one woman in the world that has what Eddie Murphy talked about on Raw. The only pussy that he wanted to buy is the one when he does it and she comes and the sparks fly out her ass and fireworks go off.
He's not wrong. That's
It had to
great.
be something. Well, he's got 3 kids. What has he got? 3 kids? 4 kids? 3
Fourth
kids?
one on the way.
4th one on the way. So obviously something's golden.
Yeah,
Someone's
I
building a
understand it.
football team.
But this also explains why she wears the pants in the family.
She
does.
Kelly is not a bad woman, but the problem with her is she talks too damn much. She does this on her podcast. There's quite a few times when he was here that I wish she'd just shut up. I
Mhm.
said, I know Stafford goes home and says, "Babe, stop getting on these podcasts and talking stuff."
Stop telling my business.
Right.
But at the same time, the backup by the name of Joe Cox must not have had that big a Cox because she agreed.
Excuse me.
He didn't live up to his name.
Oh, I had to go there. But that is a pretty ratchet thing to do.
It is.
Was Joe Couch roommates with Bobby
But
Blow?
she was a cheerleader.
Oh, he was Matt Stafford's roommate is the crazy thing. That's how he knew about it.
Oh God.
Because he
I
came
wonder
over.
how awkward that was.
Yeah, imagine walking in and seeing your girl getting railed by your roommate and having to walk out and go, what the hell did I just see?
Well, I would hope for the
You know what'd be
I would
even
hope for at
worse?
least the truth of the situation. They weren't railing each other in his room.
Well, they
I
shared
think
a
they
room,
were
I'm saying.
off campus
No,
doing their thing.
no, that's just it. She went back to his room. Joe
Imagine if
Cox
it
I didn't
was
room
hear
the
none of
had
that.
Georgia mascot, the guy who dressed up as the mascot, and be like, "I lost to a mascot."
that would have been that probably would have ruined Matt Stafford, and he never would have been the pick where he was picked. I'm sorry. He probably wouldn't even have made it as a starter, and we'd have been talking about Joe Cox that draft.
Joe Cox, a guy I should make an NCAA football 26.
YouTuber censored, so I'm here now. Yes, roll
Yay!
out.
Wait, Orlando Escribano Jr.? Did
Yes,
you see? Oh no.
he's on Facebook. That's his name.
Oh, I thought it was. Is that? I thought it was just Orlando
Orlando
Escribano.
Escobar Jr. That's him. That's the guy we've always been talking to, dude.
Oh, I
Yeah,
thought someone
Orlando.
was doing a period account.
Mr. Orlando.
Orlando.
Yes, it's YouTube Uncensored. Friday night Lions fan cave chat, and we're just bullshitting about sports in general and how Kelly Stafford was a ratchet bitch that trapped Matt Stafford.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Oh man, that's crazy.
I put that into a chat where it was guys that are St. Louis sports fans. They have a show on Sideline Sports called The Coach's Box.
Hmm.
And I asked them, I said, well, now I bet you're happy that the Rams are in LA. You don't have to deal with this whole scandal with Kelly Stafford and Matt Stafford and her boning his old backup quarterback in college. And they just lost it.
Imagine if Stafford was like, "You were gonna be my best man at my wedding, you jerk."
No, Joe Cox, I guess, in college was the bad boy.
Just like how Chad Kelly was.
My dad is
Oh,
senior, and my son is Orlando Escorbano III.
nice. Yeah, Chad Kelly was a mess up. Speaking of mess ups, couldn't stand that kid.
What crazy sports stuff do you want to talk about, B?
Yeah. Crazy sports stuff. I'm trying to
Trying to
remember.
think of something that's
Trying to
interesting.
think of something that happened this week that was weird. Well, the whole I think the whole Brandon Ayuk situation is pretty hilarious.
God.
The dude
Yeah.
goes into the meeting with one of the guys from the Washington Commanders, Jaden Daniels, which happens to be the quarterback, and he feels like he's unappreciated. And you know, my other show, I got two Pittsburgh guys on there, and that was one of the places he wants to be traded to, there or Washington. And they're all excited about that. I said, "Well, you're going to have to pay him.
Yep.
You're still going to have to pay him."
Right.
And do you want to, he's not a number one. You got a number one over there. So why would you pay him number one money when you've got a number one over there? He's
Right.
not a number one.
Terry McLaurin. Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
I can understand Washington in a sense, because really Scary Terry is kind of
And over glorified too.
I think his number one status is in question right now. I think he's playing as good as he could be. I think that might have to do because of the team he plays on too. I'm not saying that he's a bad player, but I don't know. Competition from Ayuk might be something that he needs.
Right.
And they also have Jahan Dotson.
Yeah, Johan. Yeah,
Jahan Dotson
So
is a
he-
slot receiver though, so that wouldn't affect anything. They could get Ayuk, and that would give them a valid 1, 2, 3.
oh yeah, they would probably want to be one of the best receiver cores in the league with that. And you got a young quarterback in Jaden Daniels. I mean,
You know, what's funny is PFF did their top 10 wide receiver rankings in the NFL, and
Mm-hmm.
the Lions are listed as 7th in the league. As
I
bad
could
as
deal with that.
Lions fans knock our wide receiver core, they say it's better without even adding in Sam Laporta. It's better than people think. And I sit there, he goes, if yeah, and they got Ertz too, but I think he's there for him or for vet leadership, because didn't they lose Logan Thomas in the offseason? He
They
was a
did
free
lose
agent.
Logan.
Yeah, so he's bought in more to do that role and to mentor the rookie they drafted in the 3rd or 4th round. So that's a whole other story. But I'm trying to address this because Lions fans say how much they question our wide receiver room when PFF that grades wide receivers on a totally different scale than any other position. They're actually very hard to get good rankings on PFF. Gives our room the 7th best in the league overall. That says a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Let's right now, if you look at it, I think our top 6, and because we're only going to carry 6 on the roster. Most of last year we carried 5, if you think about it. Because once Raymond got hurt, we never added another guy after him. He goes, not used to the delay. Sheesh. Yeah, because you're on Facebook. It's a lot faster on YouTube. The YouTube, the delay is about 3 seconds. On Facebook, it's about 10 to 15 seconds.
Yep.
But at the same
Yeah,
time, I think it's going to go down as Amon-Ra, J-Mo, and no particular order after that. That's our 1 and 2 right now, because I don't think there's anybody better than both of them on this roster. DPJ, Raymond, Green, and then it's going to be either Darius Fountain or Traquan Smith. I think that's our 6 right now, because that's the ones I heard the most about. The only one that might be able to beat out either one of them is the UDFA Isaiah Williams that we gave a lot.
That's weird.
Says I'm live there.
It was earlier.
Yeah. Weird. No, that's not on purpose. I don't know. Maybe somebody censored something. Well, let me go to the YouTube side and I will read comments. I am so sorry. I did not know that they weren't showing up.
But they were showing up.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah, we were reading them earlier.
Yeah,
The last person that sent a YouTube comment was Hatter's House 710 about the Caldwell thing.
yep. And James Burgess says, I cost my teammates the game. If I heard that, I'd have been okay. So many small plays cost us. We're there, baby. We didn't get dominated as if we didn't belong. Good fantasy pass. Rookie QBs tend to like TEs, but good point, SJB. And James Burgess said, secret agent man. I don't see our comments. Are we grounded? I don't know what happened here, and I apologize, but they were not showing up, so I'm catching everybody else. Hatter's House says, I'm a UCLA fan. We did have a pretty good defense. I will say that. Having said that, Caleb Williams is trash. He goes, and he goes, Flaherty's going to get dealt too. I said, we haven't dealt anybody.
I like
Yeah,
Orlando's comment.
likely it is him that did it because
Yeah, it's his fault.
my evil son.
No, I'm kidding.
Keep our pitchers. They can pitch for a long time. Good batters are inconsistent. Good pitchers last. We've been training up pitching. We haven't coached up a hitter in ages. There's no such thing as too many good pitchers on a team. If we never let go of Scherzer and Verlander, we'd still be relevant. Everyone's so streaky these days. Baez is way below them, and then no, he's 0.03 above it right now. You got to dip below 180 to be below the Mendoza line.
He sucks.
Named, so there's an asterisk. Oh, Roku, that's why the chat censored tonight. And
It was Roku.
plan will be fine. We're still dumping poison contracts 3 years after he got here. Not many young guys taking the NHL by storm. Weak classes the last couple of years, and he's actually right. Kelly Stafford is such a clout chaser. And he goes, Khalif doesn't suck. I didn't say Khalif didn't suck. That isn't what I said.
Who?
Khalif. I didn't say
No, I
Khalif
like Khalif.
suck. I just don't think he's going to be better than JMO this year. And by the comments I've heard from Antoine Rendellel and Dan Campbell in pressers, they kind of agree with me. Right now, JMO's are too, whether anybody likes it or not.
Yep.
So now I was able to catch up to the chat. We got through everybody there. I apologize for comments disappearing. Just all of a sudden, all I saw was Facebook stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is weird.
It happens.
Yep.
Yeah, I was reading about this whole Kelly Stafford thing, man. I can tell you a lot of football players came out here and said that she should be ashamed of herself, and somebody even said that
But
Stafford should divorce her.
oh yeah. And he goes, that's why I switched. Well, I got here back. Sorry about that, James Burgess, Hatter's House in Orlando. You guys were the 4 that were commenting there. Please come back. Go ahead and talk in there. I will read your comments, I promise. I've had Ricky Sakat in Orlando on the YouTube side, Yoli and Matt Henry. I still think that this division, the North, is going between the Lions and Packers, and whoever wins it are going to win it by 1 game.
Yep.
And I think third place might actually make the playoffs because I think third place may have 9 or 10 wins.
Please take place of an NFC South team, please.
I don't think the North's that's. I don't. Chicago and Minnesota are going to be taking steps back because they got rookie quarterbacks.
No,
I don't know if they're going to put JJ.
Rookie quarterback.
I don't know about what JJ is going to be doing, if they're going to put him in there or not. But the quarterback that they have that's supposed to be the starter/veteran stinks. So I don't see much hope.
He goes, James Burgess clarified his comment because I finally. All right, Will. Go ahead and shout out your channel before you leave. because hey, every now and then there's this guy named Smoking Jeremy B that pops in there.
Yeah, so my channel is WVOGS18, WVOGS18. I do sports cards, I do comics, and I do sporadic live streams. I never know when I'm going live. It's unlike JB, he has a set schedule. I don't, but we talk sports, comics, sports cards, whatever. And Jeremy's appeared. I've been lucky to have Jeremy the last few times, and I'm probably going to do another one next week. And I'll be here next week, Wednesday and Friday.
And James Burgess
Okay.
clarifies, he goes, he never said anyone said Khalif sucks. I mean, he's part of why our wide receiver room as a whole isn't poorly rated. He's a good wide receiver 3 at need, and hopefully not full time.
Very
Right.
true. Well,
And
gentlemen,
Orlando's
I'll
back
see
in
you.
the chat here too. He goes, is there VD titties there too? No, that is Bistrilla.
Oh, jeez. Good night, everybody.
I can there.
All right, Will. Have a good one, man.
I'll be in the comments probably
Good.
before I go to bed. Good night, all.
All right.
Hey, sir. Oh, that was Will Vogel checking out. And we might be checking out soon too, because we're running out of things to talk about unless you guys bring something up.
Yeah, probably. We got what 9 minutes till 10:30. I think we
Yeah,
can
I think
get to
we'll go
10:30. We'll be straight.
30.
We'll get to
Right.
10:30. We'll be straight. But
And
yeah.
in the chat, there you go. Feels I'm
So
great
anybody
at
else?
studying for the mortgage loan officer test. Ooh, that was almost bad. I hate when a cough drop when you're talking and it rolls off your tongue down the back of your throat unexpected.
So let's see. See if we got any newsworthy stuff we can talk about real quick here. That's
Well,
outside of Detroit.
last weekend was the Olympic field and track trials. Where was that held at? Do you remember, Bistrilla?
No, what? USA?
Yeah, the USA one. I can't remember if it was in Indy or if it was in Oklahoma City or something like that.
Beats the hell out of me.
Who's
I don't pay too much attention to those things because I watch the Olympics. So whoever's there obviously was the best of the best that they got. So
well,
I am looking forward to seeing the Olympics this year, though.
yeah, so am I.
When they start the end of July, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
end of July. About the same time that camp starts.
Yeah.
But anyways, James Burgess Orlando asked, who's on cut watch on our squad? Everybody past Isaiah Williams in the wide receiver room. Everybody beyond Craig Reynolds in the running back room. And as much as I hate to say it, Parker Hess has been outperforming James Mitchell. James Mitchell might be on the cut squad this year. He may end up on the practice squad. As much as I hate to say it, but Parker Hess is an Iowa tight end graduate that we picked up as a UDFA. And those, I don't know what it is about the water in Iowa, but they make great tight ends.
Mm-hmm. Well, we got one.
Yeah,
So
we got
we
one.
had one too.
Imagine if we have one at the tight end 4 and he comes out and he's able to do the exact same thing on the opposite side of him.
Wasn't Hess? Wait. Wasn't Hess Laporta's teammate at one point?
Yes.
Yeah. You always gotta get them Iowa tight ends. I would deal with it if I had to get rid of James Wright or I had to put him on a practice squad for a person that played with Laporta. I'd definitely do that.
And I'm going to say something that's going to surprise a lot of people just because of everything that I'm hearing as far as the defensive end room. There's a guy that might go to the practice squad again. And it's somebody who did it his rookie year. It's James Houston. Because if he's not looking as healthy or as good as he did his rookie year when he comes back from this injury in training camp, he might get regulated to the practice squad. I'm not saying he will, but I'm just saying there's a possibility. Comiskey's another one, because if Levi Amuzuriki shows out this preseason, he could get cut, and there's hardly any dead cap to it.
Yeah, I don't think that. Like I said, still a firm believer that Levi's not going to be on a team by the time regular season starts. Um, I
I'm
think
the
they
same.
just got too many other guys to replace him, and I think that that project is over. Um, he needs to go to a different team. He needs to get a fresh start somewhere else.
Change of scenery.
Yeah,
But in Orlando goes, so Tom Kennedy. Yes, Tommy Kennedy is included in the cut list because he is every year. He always goes to the practice squad. We
I
always
think
bring him
Tom
back.
Kennedy's just getting tired now. He's just getting tired of saying, I'm always on the cusp. I even get in a couple games, but I'm not staying. So I'm not going to try hard this year. He'd be a good New England Patriot. Well, that would be in the Belichick days. He'd be a good New England Patriot receiver, that's for sure. If Tom
Orlando,
Brady was there.
Orlando says there was a fake Iowa tight end this year, Eric All. He was a Wolverine castoff more than their typical usual tight end, and he's absolutely right. He transferred to Iowa and played with Cade McNamara for a year. And Cade McNamara, he did not go the J.J. McCarthy route this year. He knew he wasn't ready for the NFL. He went back to school. Hopefully, they give him some wide receivers that can catch almost as good as their tight end. Because otherwise, he probably will need another year when he comes to the NFL.
I don't think Iowa's ever had extraordinary receivers. They've
They had
always had
one,
extra,
they had one
extra
good one about, what was it, 5, 6 years ago that everybody was talking about?
again. It's not like they have receivers coming out their behinds all the time. It's like tight ends are like the thing. Tight ends are their thing.
James Burgess says in the Olympics, I hear the synchronized swimming competition is going to be epic this year. Hey,
Okay.
here's, you know what? Here's the ultimate answer about transgenders playing in the opposite sex sports. They're not allowed in the Olympics.
There you go.
Why? Because men have a distinct advantage due to strength and everything else that than women do not have. So they do not allow trans women to perform in the Olympics, even though half of those Russian women look like they're men. Come
Oh,
on, that's funny, Pete.
well, yeah. I just the whole transgender thing. I just
Yeah, you see,
whatever.
Orlando says Fant flubbed, and he expected more from him. I actually expected less because I said Noah Fant was the tight end too the entire time to T.J. Hawkinson. T.J. Hawkinson was always the better tight end overall. Fant was just a better receiver of the ball, but he wasn't that good for Iowa.
Oh wow! They're having. I'm looking at the event schedule for the Olympics, and they have things going on before the ceremony, even the opening ceremony even starts. That's July 26th, by the way, Friday.
Mhm.
But on July 24th, which is a Wednesday, rugby and football start,
The flag football.
and then flag football and then rugby sevens, and then on Thursday, archery starts along with handball, and then football and rugby is still going to be played. And let's see what do you got. Artistic gymnastics are starting on the 27th. Badminton,
Well, you
basketball starts on the 27th. Beach volleyball starts on the 27th. Boxing starts on the 27th. Canoe slalom
the canoe
starts
slalom.
on the 27th.
Did you get
Diving starts on the 27th. Equestrian starts on the 27th. Fencing starts on the 27th. Hockey starts on the 27th. And that's not ice hockey, by the way. Judo, road cycling, rowing, shooting, skateboard, surfing. Oh God. What? Okay.
Okay, here.
Swimming,
The surfing one, the badminton one, and there was one other one you mentioned.
table tennis.
Yeah, and table tennis. If all of those can be in the Olympics, I'm going to add one more sport that requires very little sport skill, but lots of skill to play it. They might as well bring billiards back to the Olympics.
I know that's right. They're gonna put all this stuff on here.
I'd
And
rather watch
water polo.
badminton. Water polo's always been there.
Yeah,
I
volleyball's always been there, and tennis has been there. So
right. Those ones I can't fault. I'd rather them put golf on than badminton.
the
And I hate
canoe
golf.
slalom and
Did you say douche canoe
come on.
slalom?
Some of this stuff just don't. Mountain bike. Oh, there you go. No, mountain bike might be a sport.
There we go. We need Scottish pub darts
Sailing. Yeah, there you
instead of
go.
table tennis. Scottish pub darts and bowling.
Skateboarding is an
Wait, bowling
X
actually was
game
a part of
sport, isn't it?
what's that?
Isn't skating like an X
The
sport?
rollerblading thing or whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought all that stuff was exports. They should
Bill
not
David
be in the Olympics.
he said break dancing this year. Yeah, but darts and bowling. I think bowling actually was an Olympic sport at one time in the early 1900s. But badminton
Badminton.
in Orlando says boxing is so rigged, and it might be, but at the Olympic level, I don't think it is as much. Olympic level, it's pretty much straightforward scoring.
Yeah, yeah. I think at the Olympic level too, the only way you're going to be able to cheat is if you've taken steroids or whatever,
Or
and they usually check for that stuff anyway. They usually
some
pretty much
performance or some new performance enhancing substance
as
that
a
has.
drug. Yeah, they're always on top of that stuff, especially in boxing.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't. That's probably the purest form of boxing you'll find is Olympic boxing.
No,
You
and
won't find it too much anywhere.
lawn bowling is what used to be in the Olympics because that was an Italian sport.
Lawn bowling. I'm glad they got rid of that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying regular bowling would be better than some of the sports we're talking about right here.
Well, especially over badminton. Come on.
He goes, look it up. There's break dancing in the Olympics this year. Have you seen it listed yet?
Nope.
And he says, I'm being serious, and he's laughing. He's looking at the
BMX.
event.
Yeah, I'm looking at the schedule of all the things that are happening. I haven't seen nothing crazy like that yet, though. Well, I've seen crazy things, but
I
not
mean,
that.
badminton, surfing.
Yeah.
I mean, surfing does require a lot more skill than badminton.
Well, yeah, this is true. But that falls under the X Games kind of thing. That's what I'm saying. Like this BMX freestyle, that's an X Games thing. I don't know what this canoe slalom is.
Regis says, I hear the Ukrainian archery team wants to play Russia head to head.
They probably win too.
I like it. That's a good one. I love it.
They probably win too.
Except the Ukrainian wants the bonus of not using target tips.
Oh, golf is in here.
Okay, so golf is an event now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So flag football's made it. Golf has made it. Why not billiards? I think billiards requires way more skill than badminton. It would be better than BMX freestyle there.
Yeah, I think there's a lot. I think tennis in general should eliminate badminton.
Right. I mean, I understand tennis. Tennis has been a part of the Olympics for a while now, so I don't mind that being there. You know
Yeah,
what I
I like. Yeah, I'm understanding that
table
whole
tennis and
situation.
badminton.
Beach volleyball is a stretch, but then I mean, it's still.
At least
I
it's fun
guess
to
it's
watch.
physical sport. It's a summer sport too, so
Yeah, and it's fun. It's fun to watch.
yeah. All of them are fun to watch when they're women's sports.
Amen. That's what I'm talking about. And of course, there's basketball.
Yeah, that's without giving.
Oh, there we go. billiards and darts in a biathlon with a mandatory 6 beer consumption minimum. There we go. That would be an
See, now that I can take.
he says that on August 9th and 10th is when the breakdancing event is.
Oh, I haven't even got there yet. August 7th.
If breakdancing in there, I'm done.
It says breaking, but I don't know if that means
That's breakdancing.
break dancing.
Yeah,
It's breaking.
it's breakdancing. Pop and lock it. Shit. Wow.
Breaking is break dancing. Form of dance sports and urban dance with remarkable athletics. Oh God, come on. Get the fuck out of here. You got enough stuff here. You got enough stuff here to watch that you don't need to add stuff like that.
Oh my goodness.
Stupid.
Well,
Won't be
there it is.
watching that anyway. I'll be watching
Yes,
football.
Breaking 2, Electric Boogaloo. James Burgess just said.
Breaking 3 Olympic Games.
Breaking
Yeah,
3, Olympics lane.
I don't know how you're going to watch all this stuff going on. Keep adding stuff on there that really makes no sense. Badminton, no. Breaking, no.
So the Brazilian parkour.
Canoe slalom, if I knew what that was, maybe.
If you knew what was?
Canoe slalom. Is
Like
that when you go down a chute and
yeah,
you're canoeing?
yeah.
I don't know.
They're sending their chute up. They're sending their canoe in a chute. Oh man.
Well, obviously, it's been around for a while. It's been around since 1933. It started in Switzerland.
Oh, that's where they did the luge.
Oh, now I remember what this is.
Yeah,
This is where they go around those poles and stuff like that, and there's like a rapids water that they're
right.
canoeing in.
They hardly ever get televised.
That's not bad. I can get with that.
Hmm.
I just had to remember what that was. Okay.
I was thinking that they were literally sending a canoe down a slalom course.
I mean, I had to think about it. Slalom. That's ski slalom is the same thing. You're going downhill and you're going through poles and stuff. That's what these canoes do, but it's
Yeah,
downstream of
the
rapid
Olympics,
waters.
the Olympics are in France this year, right?
Yep. They're in Francais.
Vive
In
la France!
Paris, though. In Paris, nonetheless.
Yep. Have you guys watched the new one Under Paris on Netflix yet?
Yeah, I just saw that.
That was actually a decent movie until it got to the end and got stupid.
The end was. I was like, okay, so what happens now? If you look at the credits, I know I was watching the credits. I was like, so they go to all these cities with the water in them and they kill everybody. Is this the reason why we have red lines all in the water and stuff like that? It's like they get loose and they go to all these cities that are based on the water and they go kill everybody. Okay, well that's sad. That's a happy ending I can see.
James Burgess says, I'm trying to think of what sport the French are good at other than tactical retreating.
Hey, they're good at building statues.
The last time the French were good at war, they had a dictator running that country named Napoleon.
Mm-hmm.
And he
Well,
was
actually,
fighting.
he captured France. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
because he really wasn't the person they wanted to. He just got out of control. That's what that was. He was like LeBron.
Orlando says, I've seen A Night in Paris starring Paris Hilton. I heard that had that was a 2-star. It wasn't that classy.
Not that this one under Paris is the greatest either, but it's a lot more exciting than that one.
Yeah, it's a little more exciting. And that movie, the whole story was great till after the race. Uh, It, the whole thing made no sense to me after that point, and the ending was so stupid. I love the fact that the mayor of France ended up getting in the water and getting ate. That was the best part of the whole movie.
Yeah, because she was an asshole.
Right.
But you know, the mayor of Paris, I couldn't even imagine.
Well,
It was an okay movie. It was funny in some certain instances, and otherwise it was I was like,
the serious parts were way more serious than I thought they'd be, but the funny parts were great.
what I thought was really funny is when they were underground and they were trying to get away from all the sharks, all the people that weren't supposed to be there in the first place,
Right.
and they were trying to get along, and they were just falling into the water. I'm just so nervous. I'm falling into the water and getting eaten by a shark, you dummy.
They're
I'm
on
gonna
a
tell you,
6-foot
I ain't
wide.
panicking. If I gotta panic that much to get away from sharks and I fall in the water, just be haphazardly falling in the water, I'm a dummy because there's no way in hell you ain't gonna knock me off nothing. I'm gonna start throwing people in the water. I ain't going nowhere near that water.
Right. But
It
I
was,
want to
it,
thank
it's
everybody for staying with us. I'm glad I caught up with the chat. Thank you, Orlando, for alerting me that
alerting.
that was going on, because I love addressing the chat. The chat is the main reason why I do this show live. If I didn't want to react with the chat, guess what? I would pre-record stuff and act like David Pike.
There you go.
But thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. It's been a great week. We will see you on Monday when I come back with Lions Talk with Smoke and Jeremy B in the morning. And we're going to start talking about some of the offensive positions who I think makes the team and who I think doesn't. The way too early predictions that I sometimes get right and most of the time not. But
But it's there.
it gives us content. That's
There
what
you
it's
go.
for. B, shout out your channel that you do there with Rumble.
We do nothing but the smoke. That'll be on Tuesdays as soon as the season starts. After the first game, after the first wave of the games are over, we'll do that. I do produce another show, JBK Sports, which covers all 32 NFL teams and JBK zone coverage, and that covers all 32 teams. We'll be on just before season starts, just to get everything up to that point. So keep an eye out for them, and might even have Jeremy. You need to come on that show
Yes, sir.
once in a while. So that
Next,
and nothing but the
I
smoke.
usually go live at
Anytime, man.
30 with the inside the pigskin if they need me. But like next week, I have nothing going on. If you want to do an early show or something just to get like a review out there of what's coming up, I'm in.
I was thinking about doing one for nothing but the smoke, like after preseason was over,
Okay.
and then
Like during
getting
that
everybody caught up. So I
during the
haven't
week in
haven't
between.
I haven't really talked to Rumble about it yet, but we'll see what happens. So
James Burgess, one before we sign off, I got one more quick one. You know what I'd
uh,
pay to see? Full contact with paid pad tackle football, U.S. versus China would be priceless. Lee Ching drops back to the pass. Oh my fucking god! I think Aaron Donald killed him.
no, just the names of the Chinese players would be enough right there. Ho
Yeah.
Dong Wang.
Do you
Ho
remember
Dong Wang.
back in the late '80s, early '90s? There was a comic named Bob Nelson that did impressions, but they were impressions of people that were fictitious.
Mm-hmm.
He had a special on HBO where he did a whole apartment complex. And there's this little kid, his mom went to work and left no toilet paper, and he's stuck in the bathroom. And the whole show is based around this little kid yelling out the window, "Hey, I need some toilet paper!" And the super is a Chinese guy, and he goes, "You shut up! You too loud! You waking me up!" And he goes, "Oh, quit being an angry Chinese man. No, you're just mad because you were named by somebody throwing a wok against the wall. Ding, 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 wobble, 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 wobble." And I was like, "Oh my god, that's great." I used to love those type of shows. He actually got his start on the same one that Robin Williams got his start in stand up. Rodney Dangerfield's ninth Young Comedian Special. And Robin Williams, he just came out and doing stupid impressions that were hilarious. He started out, he goes, "You remember those old K-Tel super hits albums?"
Mhm.
He goes, "What if they
Yeah,
were all
Robin
actually
Williams.
Elmer Fudd?" Dwight
I was like, that's
called
why I
him.
kind of the other comedian that I really liked before he started getting serious with his stuff was Jim Carrey, because Jim Carrey reminded me a lot of Robin Williams and how he did stuff.
Oh yeah,
And I love Robin Williams. Robin Williams is freaking hilarious. I don't think I've ever seen him like when he comes on these talk shows. Oh, he used to go on Johnny Carson, man. Johnny Carson used to be on the floor. I'd be there with him because he was hilarious.
right. But Bob Nelson, his best routine was, "This is Sundays at my house because my grandpa is a football fan. And he's got these two big balloons and he stuffs them in the bottom of his shirt. And he sits down in the chair. This is my grandpa watching football and acts like he's scratching his nut. And he goes, "This is my grandma bitching about it." Pulls him up to his belly and walks around like, and then he goes, "This is my girlfriend." Unless she's laying down, then it's like this.
Over the top.
And then he put him up here and he goes, "Now I'm going to show you the reason why they don't allow the college players to announce themselves at their all-star game." It was, whole routine. The best one was, "Hello, Bruce Kowski, San Francisco Barber School, tight end. Next year, I hope I'm a wide receiver." That was the best one of the whole show. And me practicing that routine is how I got to do that voice that way.
So, the Bears.
Go Bears.
Go Bears.
Roar.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
well, thanks everybody for tuning in. Try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. It's the only way to make the world a better place. It starts right here in your own heart. Your attitude that you take on the morning is what's going to set your attitude for the rest of the day.
Yeah, the Robin Williams buff. That was hilarious.
That was off of An Evening at the Met. I still have that on
Yep.
CD somewhere. I love that one. "Dad, how do you get to the Met?" "Money."
Right.
But thank you everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you Monday. And of course, he will either be back Wednesday and Friday, or at least on Friday. I know how he is. But next week is AFC and NFC North, so I have the feeling he'll be there for a
Yeah.
review.
Yeah.
'Cause I am really working on getting him there. Oh my God! And Junior pops in at the end of the night. "Dad, would you give up 2 first-round picks for Clowney?" Two
I'd
first
give
round
up. I'd,
picks, sure.
I'd give up 2 first round picks for you, though. Just to get you out of our hair.